Shooting in Washington, D.C. near the White House. The governor of West Virginia walking back a grim update late this afternoon. Good afternoon. This is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan. We begin with a breaking news update out of America's capital. That's where 2 National Guards have been shot near the White House. The latest is that their condition is unknown, though you may have seen headlines online reporting their death. The governor of West Virginia now taking back that statement, saying his office has been getting conflicting reports. CTV's Austin Lee is here live with the very latest. Austin.
Well, Stefan, both members are from the West Virginia National Guard, and this just in as well. We're learning that they are in critical condition, according to reports. We're also hearing this appears to have been a targeted shooting, and police say a suspect is in custody after they responded to reports of about 10 to 15 gunshots. The White House and U.S. Treasury were quickly put on lockdown, and officials say the suspect was also shot, but those injuries are not believed to be life-threatening. Police, along with the FBI, ATF, and U.S. Secret Service agents, they are at the scene. U.S. President Donald Trump is at his West Palm Beach golf course. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the White House is aware and is actively monitoring this tragic situation, and the president has been briefed.
It is unclear at this point whether this individual who is in critical condition targeted those National Guardsmen or whether those National Guardsmen were trying to intervene in something that was happening. Perhaps they saw someone being accosted and were trying to get a handle on the situation. We just don't know yet.
And ahead of the latest update, U.S. President Donald Trump took to social media saying, quote, the animal that shot the 2 National Guardsmen, with both being critically wounded and now in 2 separate hospitals, is also severely wounded, but regardless will pay a very steep price. Again, the very latest just into our newsroom is that we're hearing reports that both of those members of the National Guard are in critical condition. The Secret Service, National Guard, and D.C. Police, along with others, have now secured the area, and they're working to gather any and all forensic evidence as they comb through the scene. Stefan.
All right, thank you for this update, Austin. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on this one. CTV's Austin Lee reporting live for us. Also breaking in the last hour or so, Prime Minister Mark Carney is planning to meet U.S. President Donald Trump in Washington next week, though we don't know how this latest incident in D.C. could impact that. And the news comes as the federal government announces support for Canada's forestry and steel industries.
The Canadian steel and lumber industries will always be at the heart of Canada's competitiveness, our security, and our strength.
The support is intended to help Canada weather the economic storm coming from the trade war taking place with the U.S. Among the new measures is limiting steel imports from foreign countries even more than previously announced, a move largely aimed at keeping Chinese steel out. The feds will also be cutting freight rates to ship steel and lumber across the country in half starting next spring. In local politics, the city is officially in the running to buy a private landfill. Council deciding to move forward with the bidding process, but the details are sparse. In fact, it may be challenging to find out more because of a non-disclosure agreement. CTV's Leah LaRocque is bringing us the latest on this one. Leah.
Well, Stefan, media at City Hall today were really left with more questions than answers. The entire discussion today was held behind closed doors. The mayor says he can't give us any details, even what the bidding process is, because it's held by that confidentiality agreement, and that's giving a lot of people some frustration and questions. So the city does want to buy the private dump that is owned by Taggart Miller Environmental Services, but for nearly 2.5 hours today, councillors held an in-camera session. Afterwards, during the media avail, the mayor said he can't disclose what was discussed because they're bound by that non-disclosure agreement. So that means no details about the price, the timeline of the bid, and potential purchase, or even what happens next.
We don't want this here, mainly because of our kids, our families, all the families coming here. They're growing up in this neighborhood. We don't need this. It's just wrong. It doesn't belong in a neighborhood.
You're going to put a dump in it? It just doesn't make sense. We've been protecting the land all these years. It just doesn't make sense.
Pretty much the dump has been the main topic around any activity out here lately.
So that's just some reaction from Carlsbad Springs residents who live near where that dump will go. No votes were taken today during the closed doors session. Staff only told to move forward with the next steps. It is important to note that regardless of who buys that landfill, it will be a landfill. The mayor previously had said it is in the city's best interest if they do own that landfill because the city has a growing garbage problem. Stefan.
All right, CTV's Leah LaRocque reporting for us. Thank you, Leah. Charges are pending against a Quebec company after one of its vehicles had a tire come off while driving on the 417. It happened Tuesday near Panmure Road. Police say the bolts on the tire were torqued too tightly, causing the bolts to become stripped and the tire to come off. Thankfully, no one was injured in the incident, with the tire landing in a nearby ditch. Police say, unfortunately, this is a common occurrence during tire swap season.
A tire had come off the back of a pickup truck that was hauling a trailer with a bobcat on it. Thankfully, the tire didn't go too far and no other vehicles were struck and nobody was injured. If you're traveling at a high speed and the tire flies off, it can be extremely dangerous. We have seen fatalities in the past, tires flying through windshields of oncoming vehicles.
Tire shops say it is important to retorque your tires after a tire swap. This should be done 1 day or about 100 kilometers after the tires are put on. Meanwhile, a Quebec man is facing charges after a child was struck by a vehicle yesterday afternoon after getting off a school bus. It happened on Highway 17 in Ralphton, about 2.5 hours northwest of Ottawa near Deep River. Police say the 10-year-old child was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. OPP say an eastbound car failed to stop and struck the child. The bus had its red flashing lights and stop arm activated at the time. Again, someone has been charged for that. Turning now to a potential high-tech shift at OC Transpo, the transit agency is exploring the use of artificial intelligence to help with crime prevention measures. But as the system gets smarter, there are concerns about how privacy will impact their safety. CTV's Kimberly Fowler is following this for us. Kimberly.
Well, Stefan, at this week's Transit Committee meeting, transit officials told councils about their plan to start using AI. They say it could help OC Transpo monitor buses, the O train, and transit stations right across the city. OC Transpo says for now, they're exploring the idea of integrating real-time detection AI on their existing security cameras already in use. Now, this comes after OC Transpo staff visited Montreal's STM Special Constable Unit, which has already implemented the technology in Montreal's transit system. But some experts are concerned over the lack of clarity on how any data and images are collected in stores and what's being done to protect transit users' privacy.
The fact that all of your movements are going to be captured and retained, who knows where, for how long, is it going to be encrypted? I doubt it. These are some of the issues, the questions that have to be raised.
Now, the union representing OC Transpo workers says it's important that any tool we explore protects people's dignity and supports, not replaces, the human judgment and compassion that real safety depends on. Now, once any plans are finalized to use AI, OC Transpo will provide an update in their annual report to councillors on the Transit Committee. Steph.
All right, thank you for this, Kimberly. Ottawa Senators captain Brady Tkachuk will be back on the ice this week after recovering from an injury he received during the team's home opener last month.
It's only fitting. Thanksgiving, just excited to be in St. Louis, have all the boys, the trainers to mom and dads.
So you are having the whole team.
Whole team. The no contact jerseys coming off.
Tkachuk announced plans to be back in the lineup this Friday when the Sens play the Blues in St. Louis. He shared the news on his Wingmen podcast with his brother and fellow NHLer, Matthew. The Sens captain was injured during the October 13th game against Nashville. He underwent surgery on his right thumb as a result and missed 19 games.
It's just a wonderful fundraiser and a big help to the Kids These Days campaign.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, a magical Christmas tradition returns to the capital, lighting up the night for a good cause. And our Jackie Perez is out live in our community tonight. Jackie?
Thanks so much, Stefan. We're hanging out at the Donnelly Ford Lincoln on Bank Street, where Toy Mountain is underway. And the temperatures today and conditions, we had mostly foggy conditions with a little bit of the light drizzle moving through. And we're anticipating this will continue well into our evening. And taking a closer look, mild temperatures today, too. That was the positive side. for a gray, rainy day today. We are tracking the weather system. No weather watches or warnings for Ottawa, but the lake effect, snow affecting parts of Toronto and along the Seaway. We're keeping a close eye on this. But right now, temperatures sitting between 11 degrees. Here in Ottawa, sitting around 5 degrees. Overnight conditions will drop to about 1. And tomorrow, only getting to a daytime high of about 3 degrees. Yes, flurries are on the way. We will have a closer look at your long-term forecast and more in just a bit.
The Bell Media building is lit up bigger and brighter this year thanks to our friends at Christmas Decor from Nutrilon. Taking a closer look now to a story we told you about not too long ago, OC Transpo looking at the use of artificial intelligence to monitor its transit system. The technology could be used to flag crime on buses, the O train, and at transit stations right across the city. Today's radio question of the day is asking, how do you feel about using AI to monitor Ottawa's public transit?
Once you're in public, you do lose a certain sense of that right to privacy. What you say in public, anybody can film you, anybody can see you, and as such, you have to act accordingly. So I don't believe that. I know that a lot of folks will take the position that it's turning into a Big Brother state, and I hear their concern, but I disagree.
Christy Cameron is here with more on this. Is that pretty much the consensus of your listeners, Christy?
No, not really. It was
Okay.
very mixed today. Kadeem was kind of okay with it because, you know, when you leave your house, you go to the grocery store, you take public transit. Typically, you think that you're on camera because usually you are. But the reality is you're being watched by cameras that are being watched by humans. One transit cop has 2 eyes. AI can watch tens of thousands of cameras all at once. So it's a bit of a different experience, and some of our listeners felt uneasy about it. Here's one thing I want to get across, though. We have no details on this, whereas in Montreal, they had a pilot project they were looking at to keep people safe, to make sure that they were not self-harming. In Ottawa, this seems more like it's about crime and more about keeping tabs on what's going on in the LRT tunnel. I'm wondering if they end up using it to stop fare evaders, people that are jumping the turnstile. I had the city councillor, who is the vice chair of the Transit Commission, on my show today. He said this doesn't have anything to do with fare evasion at the moment, but you'd think if they've got the technology that maybe that's something that's on the table in future. Right now, it's all just up for discussion. Nothing has been pinned down.
All right, we're going to have to wait and see as AI watches us all. Thank you, Christy. You can join the conversation and leave a comment through the TalkBack feature on the iHeartRadio app. You can listen live to Christy Cameron on News Talk 580 CFRA weekdays from 2 to 6. For 10 years now, Wesley Clover Parks has served as a center of holiday tradition for many in our region, with magic of lights, dazzling displays, all while supporting kids and families at CHEO. Here's CTV's Sean Varden with more.
It's become a holiday tradition in the capital.
It's very kid-friendly, and we were like, oh, she would really enjoy it.
The magic of lights at Wesley Clover Park, a showstopper featuring millions of lights, bringing joy to the community.
Being able to host it is really important to us. It's become a beloved family tradition, so we see lots of the same people coming through every year and bringing more family and friends.
Celebrating 10 years in 2025, the 2-kilometer route with over 2 million lights illuminating the night.
We have the most lights we've ever had. We have the longest drive-through tunnel in all of Ontario, and if you like dinosaurs, we have the most dinosaurs we've ever had in prehistoric Christmas.
The magic of lights also giving back to the community, with hundreds of thousands of dollars raised for CHEO since it started.
A great event for bringing a lot of joy to families all over Ottawa, but for us at CHEO, it's just a wonderful fundraiser and a big help to the Kids These Days campaign and all the work we're trying to do to expand and grow and do more to help the kids that are relying on us.
The lights delighting families, with Move 100 providing the soundtrack while visitors roll through this winter wonderland.
Olivia, what did you enjoy the most? Which one? Which one did you like the most, sweetie? That? Which Santa?
The mountain one.
The mountain one. The mountain one. The Santa mountain one.
The magic of lights is open every night until January 3rd. Sean Varden, CTV News.
If you look around, you can see a lot of the attention to detail that we will be bringing back to the space and maintaining the preservation of it.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, we'll take a look at progress being made on the decade-long rehabilitation project happening on Parliament Hill. Also, a live check on traffic right now. There is a collision to report in the westbound lanes of the 417 at Moody. Traffic looking heavy in that direction, about a 25-minute delay stretching out to Woodruff from the Vanier Parkway. Eastbound, a 10-minute slowdown from Bronson to Innis. Main roads moving well at the moment. You're watching CTV News at 5. Coming up later tonight on CTV, the floor starts at 7, shifting gears at 8. Back-to-back episodes of Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage starts at 8:30, then The Amazing Race at 10. Now for another check on the weather, let's go live to Jackie.
Purchase of a new 2025.
Thanks so much, Stefan. Yeah, we're having a great time here. People are having their donations coming in here, all for Toy Mountain. We are in the second week as well. Lots of excitement as well, and we will get to that in just a bit. However, it was a wet, gray, foggy day here in the capital. And the thing is, the light showers as well as the fog will continue closer until the midnight hour. Now, here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam showcasing Parliament Hill and Chateau Laurier, where the fog continues to encapsulate Center Block. It's about 3 degrees right now. The good news is things are going to slightly warm up to about 4 degrees in the overnight hours. And then we're getting to about a daytime high about 6 degrees for tomorrow. The thing is, though, we are looking at the winds. This is what we're really paying attention to. It's going to be really gusty in the overnight hours. Wind gusts up to 50 kilometers per hour when waking up and heading out the door. There's still a chance of some flurries moving through in the afternoon, and it won't stick around for very long, but it is in the forecast until Friday. Now, taking a look at the valley, about 0 is the overnight temperature, 1 degree the daytime high with a chance of flurries. To our friends in the Seaway, so Kingston, Brockville, Cornwall, 2 degrees. There's a chance of some flurries and rain showers. Daytime high, 3 degrees. Keep in mind for Kingston, there's a special weather statement in effect with strong winds gusting between 80 and 90 kilometers per hour. This is anticipated to continue into Thursday afternoon. Now, a look now at what we can see for the conditions here. We mentioned that temperatures are going to start dropping and the flurries are going to be making its way through Thursday evening. It's really Friday that I really want to keep an eye on. That's when we could see a mix of some freezing rain as well as moving through, but it should be clearing out by Saturday, where we will be seeing more sunshine. So temperatures really starting to drop, really compared to the mild temperatures we had today. Thursday, daytime high, 3 degrees. Friday, -1. And Saturday, sunshine, -1. But the overnight low, I'm not a huge fan of. -10 is what we are anticipating. And then we're going to get back up to above the freezing mark by the early start of next week, Stefan, where temperatures will be between 2 and 3 degrees. Now, that's it from us here for now for the 5 o'clock hour. But I see that the lovely ladies from Sound Decision has arrived here. They've also been donating some toys for Toy Mountain. We will be hearing from them as well as their musical stylings in the 6 o'clock hour. So make sure you tune in. There's tons of fun happening here at Donnelly's Ford Lincoln on Bank Street.
All right, the ladies are looking lovely in red. Thank you for this, Jackie. And here's a look at the stories you're checking out right now on CTV News Ottawa.ca. At the beginning of the broadcast, we did mention that Prime Minister Mark Carney plans on meeting with Trump in Washington next week. If you go to our homepage, that is the breaking news banner right at the top. Now you can see all the details. He plans on being in Washington for a FIFA announcement and says not to get too excited because talks have not necessarily re-engaged. More details there at ctvnewsottawa.ca. Coming up on CTV News at 5.
So we've got a morning offering of coffee, an afternoon, some beverages and some snacks.
A popular Ottawa brewery opening a permanent brick-and-mortar location in the heart of downtown. Stay with us.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Here's a live and foggy look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. Current temperature 3 degrees. And it's time now for a look ahead to CTV News at 6. Here's Patricia Bull.
Thanks, Steph. Here's what we're working on for 6 o'clock.
The dump is the main topic around any activity out here.
Well, the city is moving forward with a bid to buy a private landfill in the east end of the capital. What's next in that competitive bidding process?
If you're traveling at a high speed and the tire flies off, it can be extremely dangerous.
As many drivers are swapping their tires for winter ones, a reminder to make sure they are on securely. This after a loose wheel recently shut down a section of the 417.
I love Go Capital! I love Go Capital! I love Go Capital! I love Go Capital!
And we'll introduce you to the Myers Team of the Week. We'll be joined live in studio by the Go Capital Artistic Swimming Club. All of that and more coming up tonight on CTV News at 6. That's right after the early edition of CTV National News with Sandy Ronaldo at 5:30. Steph.
Thank you, Patricia. Now the final 5 other stories we're following.
If you look around, you can see a lot of the attention to detail that we will be bringing back to the space and maintaining the preservation of it.
From heritage preservation to modern earthquake-proof foundations, the decade-long rehabilitation of Parliament is on track to be done by the year 2031. Work includes restoring around 50 rooms, and the project is surrounded by scaffolding made with Canadian steel. The City of Ottawa is looking to build housing in a section of green space known as the People's Park in Old Ottawa East. A report by city staff recommends council declare 5 parcels of city-owned land as surplus, including part of the green space on Lees Avenue. The University of Ottawa says there are currently no confirmed cases of bed bugs and no bed bug infestations on campus. As social media reports suggest bed bugs at multiple locations. Some of those posts suggested bed bugs had been found in the school's libraries, dorms, and study spaces. In an email to CTV News, a U Ottawa spokesperson says they have investigated and found no bed bugs in each of those locations.
But the biggest aspect is that, as crazy as it sounds, there's no liquor store right downtown. So customers can come in, buy some beer from our brewery, as well as a lot of Ontario craft breweries, and some unique wines that you won't find in the LCBO.
The owner of Kitchissippi Beer Company, Paul Meek, is opening a new permanent spot on Sparks Street called The Commons. Will be a drinks-first venue with Kitchissippi products as well as beer and wine from other Ontario producers.
You see them from a distance, you see them in flight, and they look incredible. Seeing them up close, their eyes, and just how intelligent they are, it's something that I'll never forget, for sure.
An Ottawa Valley woman and her young son are being credited with helping save an injured bald eagle. They stepped in after seeing a call for help online from Safe Wings Ottawa. The bird, affectionately named Charlie, is now in the hands of the Owl Foundation, a specialized rehab center where she'll get x-rays. That is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan Keys. Thank you so much for watching. The early edition of CTV National News starts now.